Hey, I'm Chris Zepp from Make Everything, and today we're going to talk about the dreaded inside corner weld and how to grind it to make it look perfect. I'm going to use some simple techniques with some basic tools and show you a couple different ways to take that ugly inside corner weld, either for your furniture or for a decorative piece, and make it look nice. Check it out. All right, so before we get started, let's talk a little bit about our goals for today. So I make a lot of different furniture and I make a lot of bases for tables, stuff like that, either for myself or for clients. A lot of furniture makers that do slab style tables come to me to make the steel bases. Now, there's a couple of different ways to finish an inside corner on a piece of decorative furniture. Now, on like a structural application, you would just weld the inside corner and you just leave it. And if you're a good enough welder, a lot of times you can leave that inside corner with just like a nice smooth bead on it, and that'll be acceptable to most people. Almost, all the time you're gonna want to at least grind your outside welds and your outside corner, but that inside corner is always sort of the tricky spot. Now, I teach an intro to MIG welding class here, and we make this sort of decorative little cube, and we actually don't weld the inside corners because we found that it just takes so much time for the student to kind of achieve a good look. It's a really easy way to ruin a piece. Now, that being said, those are really just an example on how you're gonna learn how to weld, so it's not a big deal to leave that open. But if you're gonna be painting something or having something powder coated, you're gonna wanna finish that inside corner, and that's where a lot of people stumble and a lot of people lose time when they're working on their projects. So I'm gonna show you a couple different ways to deal with that inside corner with some common materials that I use for table bases. All right, so there's a lot of different ways to grind inside metal corners. Now, the three ways that I use the most are with a die grinder like this. I also like to use files. And then my favorite way is to use a curved flap disc. Now, this is from Pferd. This is called a Polifan curve. You may have also seen a similar looking disc at like the big box store. Home Depot sells a similar one by a different brand. Now, the difference between a flap disc like this and a regular flap disc like that is that edge. Now you can see here, we're not going to really be able to grind inside a corner with this edge, and we're not going to be able to grind on the back, whereas this disc has abrasive that wraps all the way around it. So these things are excellent, and this is my preferred method, but not everybody has these. Not everybody has them when they need them. And they're also, more expensive. They are a single-use item than, say, a file or even a carbide burr on a die grinder like this. So the material that we're going to use is, I have some 1x1, some 2x2, and some 2x3. And I'm going to just quickly weld these up. I'm going to weld a nice inside corner there, and then we're going to do a little finishing. For the welding on this project, I'm going to use my smaller, more kind of consumer grade welder. This is a Lincoln 140MP. This is a MIG-TIG stick machine. If you watch my other videos, you may have seen my how I make money with my MIG welding video. That utilized this, but my last video I used my bigger welder. Now the thing about a machine like this is it's a little more conducive to welding the thin wall material that we're going to be working with today, and it's a little more attainable at about $1,000, even less if you don't get the TIG kit. So let's get this thing booted up and get these pieces welded together. All right, so I've got these three welded up. I'm going to quickly just grind these outside grinds just to clean these up so that we're just focusing on that inside corner. To grind these outside welds, I'm just going to use, this is a Pferd Victograin disc. Now this is kind of a heavy grinding disc. If these were for like a furniture application, I would use a flap disc like this, or even the curved flap disc, just because I would want to keep the heavy grinding marks to a minimum. But since we're just trying to get this ground for example's sake. I'm gonna just grind these in real quick and get it done. All right, so now all three of these are ground. So again, this is 16th wall, so it's a little thinner. There's a little undercut from the weld. This is 8th wall, so the weld's a little more pronounced on the outside, and so is this. So you can see the way that weld is sticking up there. Now, in some applications, I've made furniture, and that weld sitting in there is acceptable as it is. You just sort of leave it. It gets painted. It doesn't get touched, and it's good to go. But sometimes you don't want that corner. You want it to look somewhat square. You want this to kind of look like it was one piece of, like, say, cast material. So we'll start with the low-tech method, which is with a file. And we'll do this small 1/8 inch one, and we'll grind that corner out so that it looks nice and square. We're gonna put this over in the vise to do that. Now, if you're gonna do something like this, you do wanna be able to get your material nice and stable, because getting in there with the file is gonna take a little bit of elbow grease. So inevitably, there's a little edge on the top of this weld, and I can kind of get in there and grind it. Now, what I wanna do is, I wanna make sure my file has what's called a safe edge. So you can see on this side of the file, it's nice and smooth. On this side of the file, there are teeth. Now, what I'm gonna wanna do is I'm gonna wanna make sure I use the smooth side up against my other piece of tubing so that I'm not cutting into this piece of tubing. If I use the side with the teeth, you can see how I start to cut in. So I want to use this smooth, what's called the safe side. Now, if your file doesn't have a safe side, you can go over to a grinder and you can grind this in. You can see I'm wearing down that weld, and I'm trying to get rid of that convex shape. You can see now I'm getting closer down to my other piece of material. Now what we can do now is we can get a corner file and try to dig into that corner to square it up a little bit more. This triangular file is less than 90 degrees, but what you can do is you can use the corner of it to get in and tighten up that shape. Now what I like to use as sort of my last step is, this is a round file or a rat tail, some people call it, and you can get in there and now smooth this whole thing out and really blend the corner to make it look nice. Now at this point the corner looks good, but you've got some heavy file marks in there, and that's a pretty rough grit, and if we were going to paint this, we'd want to get some of those out. So this is just some 120 grit sandpaper, and you'll get in there. Here's a little rubber pad that I made, and just try to grind out some of those heavy file marks. So now, after a little bit of sanding, you've got a really nice, clean inside corner, and if we paint this, it's going to translate really well, and it's not going to look like a kind of bubbled over weld. All right, so that's one method down, using just files, essentially just hand tools. Really low tech and pretty inexpensive. Now the next method we're going to do on this material, and this is using a die grinder. So here we've got a tungsten carbide burr on there. And this die grinder is essentially, for those of you familiar with a Dremel, this is like a big Dremel with a bigger motor. This one's cordless and it's variable speed. It's from Milwaukee. Now this die grinder is kind of a teardrop shape, and they make many different types of dies. These are Pferd dies. Like I said, they're tungsten carbide. They're harder than any material in your shop. And what they're going to be able to do is get in there and grind this without using an abrasive that's going to wear away. Now the only thing about these is that every die grinder I've ever used puts out a lot of these little shards of metal. They're like little metal splinters. So I like to wear rubber gloves when I use my die grinder. Otherwise I find that those splinters will get into my hands. And sometimes I'll even wear the rubber gloves underneath my welding gloves just to try to keep that stuff out of my fingertips. So let's get ourselves geared up and then we'll grind in this corner. You can see how quickly this is able to accomplish that. Now you can see in just a matter of seconds, I'm able to grind down that weld to make a nice inside corner. Now again, we could take our sandpaper and we could get in there and try to smooth that out to make it look a little bit more refined. You can see now that inside corner is looking actually really clean and nice, and a little bit more sanding and we could really bring it up. So just a few seconds with the die grinder gets us a really nice inside corner. And like I said, they make these dies in a million different shapes. This one's like a teardrop, which I found to be really good for inside grinding because you can kind of get inside those corners. All right, so here's our last one. Now this corner is the widest. This one is 3 inches wide. This is a little thicker material, so the weld is kind of bubbled over on the top. Now here's where we're going to use the curved flap disc. With a disc like this, you've got a similar geometry to one of these dies. But what's going to be nice about this is the speed and the fact that we're going to be able to finish out with this disc and basically do this with one step. Now this is a 60 grit disc. They make these in a couple different grits. And we're going to put this on a variable speed angle grinder. Now one of the things on the Pferd products that's important is they usually have an RPM associated with the discs. Most people that run a traditional flap disc like this, they typically run them too fast, which causes them to burn out prematurely. So getting a variable speed angle grinder can really be helpful. I use this Milwaukee one that I got on Amazon. It was about $100, but you could use any variable speed grinder that you can find. This disc in particular is recommended at 13,000 RPMs. So we'll set our grinder to that and we'll take some stabs at this corner and see how we do. So now I've got a super clean inside corner. And what's nice about these discs versus the other methods is now I could really finish grinding the rest of this piece all with this disc. All right, so obviously we could push the finish of all 3 of these corners a little bit further if we were going for, you know, say a really high finish, or especially if you were going for a gloss paint. Gloss paint is going to show every single imperfection, so you'd want to make these things really look perfect. But I wanted to give a quick overview as to, you know, different methods of achieving these inside corners and grinding them after you've welded them. Like I said, my favorite method is using these curve-edged discs. And like I showed you, what's nice about these is it's kind of a one-step process. Obviously, you're going to wear into this corner, but you can use the face of this disc to finish around your edges and really get a nice, consistent finish on your welded corners on your tubing. For a furniture application, you're always going to want to prepare your client for what these inside corners are going to look like. Like I said, I build a lot of steel bases for furniture makers, and I always ask them if they want the inside corners ground or if they want to just leave them welded. A lot of them actually choose to leave them welded, which is great for me. It keeps the price down for them because I don't have to go through and do any of this, and I just leave that nice looking weld in there. But either way, it's a great thing to know how to deal with inside corners if the opportunity arises, and knowing about specific tools is really important to me. When I'm teaching people in the shop and when I'm sort of trying to spread awareness, it's a lot about tools and techniques, because tools and techniques and knowing what's available out there can totally change the way you work. You know, I had never used one of these curved nosed flap discs until a couple of years ago, and it's absolutely changed the way that I work. And even just using something like a die grinder, you know, I never really had a good one, so I didn't really use one. When I needed to grind inside corners, I would force my way in with a normal flap disc, and then I would use files and sandpaper, and it would take me forever. You saw how quickly you were able to deal with these inside corner welds using the proper tools, and it's really not like a huge investment. I mean, these flap discs are a little pricey, but if you're already doing a project where you're welding and grinding, there's already kind of a cost to entry that you've bared, so you might as well invest a little bit into your own time and buy something that's going to help you get the job done a little bit quicker. Again, files will do the trick. They're just going to take a little bit longer. The die grinder is going to get you there, and it's maybe not going to provide as high of a finish. And the best thing, in my opinion, is the curved nose flap discs. All right, that about does it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Pferd Abrasives for providing me with the files, dies, and the curved flap discs to make this video and spread some awareness about the tools that are out there in order to help you stop the struggle in your shop. This video is sponsored by Pferd, and they've been a huge supporter of the shop for a couple of years now, so thank you very much to them. There will be links in the description on where you can get these types of files, dies, and discs all down below, so please go check them out. If you have any questions or any other tips about how you handle the inside corners on your welding projects, please leave them down in the comments below. I want to create a dialogue and help spread information and education around through the viewers and through everyone else that sort of watches on my channel. If you want to see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, follow me right here at Make Everything Shop. I post pretty much every day on my Instagram, and I always share behind the scenes stuff, show you what I'm up to and what projects are coming next. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this, more videos in the shop, and that's about it. Thanks again. I'm Chris Zett from Make Everything, and I'll see you on the next one.